I just filmed this entire intro video and realized my mic was not on. So, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. Oh! Just kidding. My name is Finn. I am a Semiconductor Technology Development Engineer. It's a mouthful, I know. I started my current role a month after I graduated in spring of 2022. So, I've been working in this position for this company for 3 years now, and it has been a roller coaster, to say the least. This industry is insane, and my company has been through a lot that we're gonna get into later. But first, I wanted to talk about why I wanted to make this video. Recently, I found a content creator named Taylor Bell. I just love the way that she combines her skills that she's gained from getting her degree in business and experience in corporate consulting with her passion to create content. And the kind of content that she creates is just so authentic and so cool, and it looks so fun. So I thought that I would give it a shot. And when I was thinking what the topic of my first video should be, I thought of day in the life of an engineer, and I was like transported back to 2020 college Finn that just had no idea what her life would look like after school. I specifically remember trying to find YouTube videos by searching day in the life of an engineer. There wasn't much out there. Now you look it up and there is actually quite a lot. So hopefully this could give some value, some new perspective. My day-to-day probably like looks the same. I do spend a lot of time in front of a desk, but what I do is super cool and different, I think. Certainly different than a software engineer. Without further ado, let's get into my first YouTube video. Not really my first, but first time really putting myself out there. Good morning. Oh my god, I didn't put any creamer in there. Oh my god. I'm new to coffee, so don't judge my Keurig. So much better. Tastes like a cookie, like it's supposed to. So before we get too deep into this video, let me give a little more background on myself. I live with my partner Raya and our 1-year-old pit mix rescue angel baby Ziggy, or Miss Piggy as we more commonly refer to her, in the Devil's Armpit of Phoenix, Arizona. I got my degree in material science and engineering at ASU, and currently working in the semiconductor industry as a packaging assembly technology development engineer. Whew. You thought it was a mouthful before. Say that one 5 times fast.
Semiconductor Packaging Assembly Technology Development
Packaging
Engineer.
Assembly
Semiconductor Packaging Assembly Technology.
Technology Conductor Package
Semi-Development
Technology Conductor Assembly
Screw
Packaging.
this. We're just going to call it Packaging Assembly TD. There we go.
What is semiconductor packaging, you ask? Well, it's not this. No. It's a bit more complex than that. So to help me explain, let's hand the mic to Future Finn, who will give us an extremely simplified overview of semiconductor fabrication. Take it away, Future Finn. Thanks, Past Finn. I got a new phone. Dare I say, the video quality. Is my skin that clear? Slay. Also, I suppose I look a bit different. It's actually been like 6 weeks since I filmed this video. I filmed like a week before my trip to Europe. My hair gives away the timeline of my life. Okay, semiconductor fabrication. There's a whole college courses on this process. So we're gonna try to keep it under 2 minutes. We're gonna get real simple here. Hopefully I do it justice. Experts could find this video and be like, wrong. But I think I have a good overall description here on my script. You think I can just pull this out of my head? I have ADHD. I need a script. Okay, can I get a timer, please? Future Finn. Okay, we're gonna break this down into 4 parts. Step 1, material preparation. Step 2, photolithography. Step 3, my favorite, doping and deposition. Step 4, testing and simulation. Although simulation isn't part of fabrication. We're gonna keep it in there. Whatever. Timer ready, set, go! Alright, material preparation, a really cool process. So we start with raw, purified silicon that is basically molten in a vat, and it gets pulled into this oblong shape called a single crystal ingot. I'll try to find a clip because it's so cool to see. Then the ingot is sliced into super thin wafers, around 12 inches in diameter, where one wafer could yield up to 300 chips, depending on your chip size. So now we have our thin silicon wafers and we're ready to move on to the next step. This is the first step of production where the chip's blueprint is set into the silicon wafer via a mechanism called photolithography. So before entering the lithography tool, the wafers are prepped by coating the surface with a light-sensitive material called photoresist. Then in the litho tool, an incredibly strong and precise beam of UV light is exposed to the wafer through a reticle, or a mask containing the chip's blueprint. So as a result, the areas exposed to the light harden, while the rest is etched away through various etching techniques to leave you with this 3-dimensional pattern that we can turn into electrical pathways. So now we can control the flow of electrons by altering the conductivity through introduction of impurities in the material structure, also known as doping, and by applying thin films of insulating or conductive material, deposition, which is then again etched away to remove the film from places we don't want it. So we're repeating this process of doping, deposition, and etching many times. So many times, like more than you think, is what creates the circuitry. Now we have our microchip and we need to make sure it's working, so we test each chip and sort by performance, and then singulate, or basically just saw the wafer to go from wafer form to chip form, or die form as it's called in the industry. Okay, so now we have these teeny tiny, super fragile integrated circuits that we want to connect to a motherboard. How the hell are we gonna do that? You guessed it, semiconductor packaging. So package assembly is really where we get to have some fun, and where a lot of the leading innovations are happening, especially with the industry's ecosystem, where we have different companies specializing in different segments of the process, whether it be design, fabrication, packaging, testing, often collaborating with each other for a single customer. And this shift in the past few years to a disaggregated chip design, where the historical monolithic SoC, or system on chip, where we only have one die that gets packaged, is now broken down into independent modules called chiplets that can give us more freedom in the advanced packaging space. I don't know, it seems like the possibilities are endless, and I find it really interesting, so let me know in the comments if anybody wants another video focusing on that. But I'll probably make one anyways. Do I hand it that way? Or that way? Not that way. That way. No, that way. I'm guessing my 2 minutes are up, so time to give the mic back to Past Pin. Miss Peggy, are you going to tell them more about semiconductor packaging? Or shall I? Off you go. Oh. Alright, we've changed into bummy walking clothes now. Let me turn this around so you can see my face. Nope, hate that. There we go. Okay. With that prerequisite knowledge behind us, I can get more into the specifics of what I do. My team specializes in a packaging technology called 3D advanced packaging, where we take those little chiplets and we stack them vertically on top of each other to create a stacked die. Here's what it looks like. Then we can scale up those teeny tiny electrical paths so we're able to connect to a motherboard by bonding the stacked die to a substrate, where we can also add other electrical components like DRAMs, HBMs, capacitors, etc. Then we add mechanical components to protect that fragile piece of silicon that's sitting on top of the substrate. These include things like lids or heat spreaders, which manage thermal output, and stiffeners, which help manage warping. We do. After all that is put together and we've gone through some testing and inspections, the assembly process is complete and we have a final product that looks like this. Semiconductor packaging. Not semiconductor packaging. You get the picture. When our internal business units want to create a new product and they want that product to be built with the latest and greatest 3D packaging technology, after it goes through a few proof of concept and design phases, it's handed off to us in Package Assembly TD, where our main objective is to get this product ready for high volume manufacturing, or HVM. When I say high volume, I mean tens of millions of chips being made in a year. Those numbers vary from product to product, but I work on client products that go in laptops and tablets and things like that, so the number is pretty high. Of course, working in the semiconductor industry, we handle super expensive materials and tools, so things need to be running perfectly before we ramp to HVM, or else one little mistake could cost the company a lot of money. Okay, now let's talk about what my roles and responsibilities look like after we take Miss Piggy for a walk. Be right back. So, while certain engineering teams may own specific process in the larger assembly line and ensuring their process is running smoothly for every product that runs through it, my team sort of does the opposite. We own the product and basically ensuring every process that our product is aligned to is running smoothly and efficiently integrated into one another. You could describe us as product managers for the engineering side of things. So if you imagine a TD manufacturing factory where there's many different products in development, different experiments going on, different testing strategies, different timelines, priorities, etc., it can seem pretty chaotic, which is why in order for these products to meet their competitive development timelines and ramp to HVM, so we can start selling to customers and actually making money, we need someone to represent the product throughout development. That's where my team comes in. We are the face of our products while they're in TD. The first product I ever worked on had codename Meteor Lake. It's on the market now, so I can talk about it. Essentially, my role is first line of defense for everything that impacts my product. So if a manufacturing technician sees Meteor Lake material coming through their assembly step and something seems out of the ordinary or they have questions, I will normally be the first to get a message. Or if a specific process engineer is seeing weird signals is seeing a shortage in inventory due to a possible sees an incorrect value in one of our data management team systems. Is seeing abnormally high yield loss. As the first line of defense, these are the fires that I fight every single day. Alright, let's go get dressed and make some breakfast. Since I'm owning at the product level, my workload is very cyclical as my products go through the TD lifecycle. For example, there are times when I'm owning a product line with 10 different SKUs, all in the thick of development. We have task forces, we have working groups, we have focus teams. We're analyzing data, designing experiments, executing experiments, analyzing data again, and navigating rigorous discussion to find and certify our solutions. It can be a lot of pressure when you're working against very industry competitive timelines. And during times like this, I'm often working 8 to 10 very draining hours a day. Maybe even like 12 to 15 when I first started. On the flip side, there are times when I might have a product that's pretty much ramped to HVM, I'm almost completely hands-off, and the next product is still in design phases or upstream MPI. During times like this, I might only need to work 3 to 5 continuous hours and just monitor my emails and messages throughout the day. Right now, I'm entering that sweet spot where Most development is either done or coming to an end for one of my products, and the next product will start NPI work in a few weeks. However, our larger organization is in a place where the headcount is really low for the workloads that we're handling. So I am managing a lot of test vehicles and early development projects that are certainly keeping me busy. I'm gonna put some peanut butter on this toast and then we're gonna head to the office. The home office. Not quite yet the office. That comes later. Okay, what are we doing today? Hopefully you guys don't hear that leaf blower right outside my window. Oh, okay. He's moving on. I think we're good. Normally, my first meeting of the day is factory ops, where all of the manufacturing reps meet to address any high priority material that needs attention or any holds that need alignment, things like that. Before that meeting starts at 9 a.m., I try to be up to date on all of my emails and messages. And be dressed and ready to go to the office. I am in a hybrid role, so I work from home.
That's classified.
And I try to go into the office. My team has a very demanding meeting schedule. I'm probably in meetings for 70% of the day, every day. Well, almost every day. The other 30% of my day is computer work, which mostly consists of reading and responding to those firefighting examples that I gave earlier, which come in over email or messages or sometimes quick ad hoc meetings. I also maintain a lot of my own organization methods. So a lot of my computer work is updating my Excels, OneNotes, and if I'm on a meeting agenda or I'm running my own meeting, I will put some PowerPoint slides together to present and speak over. There is opportunity for me to go to the manufacturing floor to observe or learn or meet people face to face that I talk to virtually almost every day, and I love doing that. I'll maybe try to find a photo of me in a bunny suit and insert it right here, but I don't actually get to touch the tools or materials, which is definitely something I hope to change in the future. I love my current role. I love the versatility and the perspective that I get being involved in almost everything TD related, but I've always enjoyed working with my hands and physically building things. So hopefully I can incorporate that into my career at some point.
Good morning.
To the salon. I just parked. I'll capture a couple clips throughout the day. I'll show you my desk and simplified version of what my calendar looks like. Maybe some friends at lunch if they'll let me. Oh, that was a draining day. I had one really hard meeting, a couple not so hard meetings, but something came up from the beginning of the year / the end of last year. Sometimes you just learn through failure, and it's really hard to stay positive and stay confident in your role. All right, let's get home to Miss Piggy, who is probably missing us. Let's go. And we're back in the kitchen. If you haven't figured it out already, I work for a company called Intel. So I mentioned in the beginning, it's been a roller coaster my 3 years at Intel. If you follow any sort of semiconductor news, you probably know that Intel has gone through a lot of downsizing in the past year, and we've introduced a new business model for more revenue stream. So I'm not gonna get too into the politics of all that. I just wanted to talk about how it has impacted me personally, because it has impacted me a lot. My history with this goes all the way back to my very first year working with the company. We had my first reorg in November of 2022. Not only did I lose my onboarding buddy, but I also acquired his work. So I mentioned Meteor Lake earlier. That was my first product, and I was sort of thrown in the middle of development as a brand new engineer, and it was really hard work. That's when I was working like 12 or 15 hours a day just because I was trying to catch up. It was probably the biggest challenge of my life. I grind and grind and grind probably for over a year, and then we actually hire a new person in my role, and her and I are aligned to a lot of the same things. We're kind of co-working on things, which is amazing, and that lasted for about a year. And then came the announcement that they were going to lay off 15% of the company. She left, a bunch of other people left or were told to leave, probably increased my workload threefold. That resulted in my first major burnout experience. So yeah, that's, I don't know, in a glimpse, that's been my 3 years at Intel. Lots of ups and downs, which is why I refer to it as a roller coaster. I do think I've learned a lot. I did some things really well, especially in the early training days. I was one of the first recent college graduates to be hired in my position. There was not much training material tailored towards us. Not only were we not internal with no experience at Intel, we were recent college graduates with no work experience, period. And me specifically, I didn't do any internships in college, so I was brand new to the corporate world as a whole. So I do think I've learned a lot, and I think I made a lot of good moves, and I want to teach you guys, so I'm probably going to make another video on that as well. This is our drama queen. Oh my god. So Raya's home. She has started cooking, and I'm icing my sinuses because I have really bad allergies. We've already debriefed on our days for about an hour. Our evenings end with us eating our dinner in front of the TV. So let us know if you have any show recommendations. All right, what are we making? Have I said that already? What are you making? It's your specialty. Tell the people. Steak hibachi. Piggy, any last words? There you go. Have a good night.